are a German-based company, German-based software, brought some kind of ideas, some kind of learnings with us based on the case study of the GI Group, which is one of our biggest clients, one of the first clients actually, which is where I just get the head up. If you don't hear me, just give me a wild sign. I just get wild thoughts, okay, and a thumbs up. Brilliant, so everyone is hearing me right now, perfect. So, as I said, thank you for the introduction, Sasha. Let's dive in. What I brought with me today is, first of all, the magic of the CPQA, sorry for that, the magic behind the quality in candidates. So we all want, of course, the quantity, we all want the quantity in candidates in the pipeline, but you also want ultimately the quality in it. So not only like major clicks, lots of clicks on the pages, but the candidates that comes out of it. So I'm going to dive into that and have like 1 or 2 learnings with me. Then the analytics to fully understand the candidate journey. Would you say that your candidate journey is completely transparent for you throughout? Like, is it really? And I mean throughout, like from the very beginning, like the very first touch point. Someone is looking at your brand, someone is looking at your page, someone is noticing your brand on social media, towards the very last end, which is then ultimately signing the contract, being handled over then to HR. So would you say like the complete journey is transparent? Curious to hear about it. I have brought some insights with me as well, and a big learning, some surprising facts as well that might also help you. Another point, the budget. We all know recruitment budget is is a source we all need to spend very carefully. So I'm gonna talking about taking Google accounts for your recruitment strategy. Within, we all heard probably the magical word here, which is SEO, the search engine optimization, where big potential lies. I just called the GI Group as a reference example. We had some learnings from that. And lastly, before we get to the Q&A section, a true conversion king, which is called content. Content probably not as you might think, it's like text or etc. Content actually on a complete different level, which I'm also happy to share. So we've seen the role of recruitment, which always fascinates me. Like personally, I do have a very strong background in marketing, purely actually. I'm trained and skilled in marketing. I'm talking to recruiters on a daily basis because our jobs are like very much aligned. The skill set of a recruiter changed drastically over the past years, meaning that they became marketers, they became salespersons. It's rather than just get the job and then just probably choose the right candidate. Instead, really promote your brand, promote the employer brand, get out there, choose the channels, resource the channels, work with analytics. Like it's very much alike like we do work in a marketing team. So recruitment means working with KPIs. You will get to know me a little bit more. I'm obsessed with KPIs, obsessed with data-driven marketing. So, and in recruiting, it can help as well. Like there are a lot of alignments that comes with it. You need to analyze the advertising expenditures. But the budget, as I said, is very limited. It's a very careful source to be spent. And it needs to be adapted first and foremost to the candidate persona. So we ask ourselves, is the invest that I'm doing, that I'm having in the different channels actually targeting the right person? Am I reaching out to the right person? Is this job ad that I'm creating actually reaching out to the right persons? And ultimately then also challenging it with the CPQA, which is the cost per qualified candidate. So not only bringing all the clicks, bringing all the traffic on your page, which is great, don't get me wrong, for your branding, but ultimately we want those candidates out of it. So how much is actually the cost for my candidate? One of the past studies that we conducted showed that it is possible to reduce the cost per applicant by 70% with the right channel. 70%, just get that. Like that's a massive economic factor for a company to reduce a cost per candidate by 70%. Just like sum it up, think about how many people you recruit, how many applications you get. If you can reduce, like if by identifying the right channel the candidate spends time on, targeting there, put advertising in there and then reduce the cost by 70%, it's a game changer for everyone. It was a game changer for some of our clients last year, which then, of course, they had money left they could spend otherwise, and they had to really need to spend it otherwise. So just to highlight the importance of choosing the right channel and then always keeping in mind what's the CPQA in order to track how much the channel actually costs me. So what I say is the secret lies in a good mixture of channels. that not only drive traffic to your page, but ultimately get the right candidates to you and then ultimately have them applying. So don't put all your money on just one horse. You have the mainstream, the big job boards, which are great. So if you're recruiting also on an international level, there are thousands of platforms, thousands of job boards you could be advertising at. You have a really, really probably high reach also in the target group. And that also probably might be a good idea to advertise there. There are some industry-specific job boards which are also relevant, which are always a little bit underrated actually. So that's a good hint. Always keep an eye on industry-specific job boards. There's the integration of job search engines that can bring traffic for free, that contribute free reach to your mix. There are target personas on social media, probably also a buzzword you know very well by now. Lots of our clients do recruit via social media, like LinkedIn, like TikTok, like Instagram as well. Facebook is a big one. I don't know if it's big also in the UK. It's a very big driver for example, agencies on the German market where they find the right candidates. And Facebook is by far cheaper than the job boards. So they use the job boards as well to be listed there, to be found there, but also invest parts of the money on Facebook where they find the right candidates. One guy, actually, which is quite fun to tell, hope I'm allowed to tell, with one agency, he's recruiting in shisha bars. Sounds very offset, but he goes out there, he goes offline because he was thinking, where do I meet my candidate personas? Where are those people at that I want to recruit? And those are the people that probably, in their free time would love to have a good shisha bar. So he really sends his recruiting team to the shisha bars. Everyone was like, no, we're going to do that. He had amazing recruiting numbers based on that because he found the right people, for the specific jobs. So always depending, I'm not saying recruit offline and recruit shisha bars. I'm just saying think about where your persona is at and invest in these channels, and you will see that a good mixture that brings you amazing results. And then lastly, very important thing for me as a marketer, I have to say it, please always remind to use tracking links, to keep tracking links with the different actions that you do, also to keep your journey trackable. Number 2, the way business operated advances at the speed of light, meaning that the recruitment buzzword of the moment is analytics. There's so much happening right now on the market. It is important to use analytics in order to perform, to have a really high recruitment performance. It involves data from all stages. At the very beginning, I said, do you really know your candidate journey from the very beginning to the very end? Meaning, do you know the response rates, also from your team? Do you know the performance amongst all the different channels, from all the different angles in the process? And are you aware of what's happening in the different channels? So having access to the data is one thing, but actually analyzing it, working with it, shifting it back and forth, challenging it as well is a complete different thing to do. What I brought with me is a little screenshot with actual numbers. It is quite small. I do have a better one with me. I just wanted to portray how it can look like to have a deeper look into the recruiting channel. So not only see where do I spend the ad on, but actually what brought me at which stage. The awareness. Is it like a click? Is it an actual enrollment? Is it an actual application that came through? And by analyzing recruitment data, organizations can identify the most effective sourcing channel and recruitment methods, enabling them to attract the best talent. So what we do see here in a very small one, I tried to rebuild it. I do hope you see it a bit better now. A bit more clear. It's an actual client case from last year, and of course we took out all the names. You see here it's anonymous, job board A, job board B, just to be clear. But you realize that on the left side there are the sources listed. So you see the job boards, you see the social media ads, SEO, and then also the referrals where the effort went into, where also the budget went into. You see right next to it the costs, so also how much. I realize it's in euro, so sorry for that. It of course needs to be translated then for you guys into pounds. It was a German case, so all the costs were in euros portrayed. But what I like about this view is this holistic approach that it has, because it portrays the candidate journey. I remember I asked you guys, do you know, would you describe your candidate journey as completely transparent, but also it links to the applicant journey, because the journey of a candidate doesn't end with just, the hiring, but it's also ultimately, then also shifting over to HR. It's not once the application's sent in, it doesn't mean that the person gets invited to an interview, it doesn't get invited, that there's a hiring happening. So just this holistic view that makes you realize what actually brought not only traffic, but then the candidates. You see, for example, the social media ad, where a lot was invested, a lot wasn't less invested, lots of visitors, lots of reach. Social media is a very, very good tool to really have them interacted. Lots of people are spending their time there. You see the forms that came into the applications, but then in the end, 0 hirings. So you basically spent money for this particular case on something that brought you probably a lot of awareness. Good to know. That's my channel then probably if I launch something new to spread awareness in, but no hiring in the end. If I have a look at SEO, which brings me almost to the next point, where 0 costs were invented because it was, 0, it was internal costs, but 0 costs in advertising, it actually brought me 1 hire because I figured out a way to really target down, to really reach the right candidate, to really attract them by placing the right keywords in the right portals, coming in via SEO with 0 cost, which is an amazing hire, which is an amazing figure then for a recruitment team. In the end. So what I want to basically show you here is to really have this holistic approach. It doesn't come overnight. It is effort that probably needs a few weeks, that needs probably a month's time, where you also need to, A/B testing, shift around. That's perfectly fine, but it is worth it because it shows you just exactly what channels work for you and what channels work for the candidates that you want to recruit. So the magic behind search engine optimization. Using correct SEO techniques, you can increase the visibility of your jobs, of your ideal target audience, and it involves basically trying to figure out what the right keywords are that your candidates are using. So SEO is a very techie form from the marketing department. As I said, there are lots of similarities between the marketing role and the recruiter role. So getting more visitors to your career pages and job boards allow you to position your company amongst the top talents. It will make you show up right on top of it. When I say search engine, I not only mean we are always really fast at thinking, oh yeah, that's Google, that's the Google stuff, that's not my thing. Search engines are also job boards, being listed on job boards when a candidate types in, I know what kind of job you're searching for. If it's typing in the title that he or she's searching for, and you don't show up on page 1. I don't know how much, if you think about your own behavior online, how much patience do you have to just scroll down page after page after page after page? I don't know. I mostly quit after the first page, when I don't see the result that I want to find. Same thing on job boards. If you really scroll down, the more behind you are on the pages, the less you will be found by the candidates. So also when I talk about search engine optimization, I also mean job boards. I mean not only mean search engines like we know, like Google or like Bing, whatever guys are using. So as the search engine then improves and you will show far more up, it makes a game changer for you as well in the listing. So SEO can boost your presence in search results to get more clicks and leads. And investing in SEO means investing in keywords your target group is using. Important, because it's not always what you think they might be typing in, it is really what the target group is using. Again, strengthen here, highlighting, totally underlining with a big red fat mark, candidate persona. What is a candidate persona using? Because it might not be what you were thinking that he or she is using. So really do the research here, determine the right keywords, find the search volume on targeted keywords, understand the user intent in typing in the keywords and identify the related terms. So these are the things that can make your page rank better. What I showed up on the left side are the KPIs You know me by now, I'm obsessed with KPIs and data-driven marketing. This shouldn't be the focus here, but what I wanted you to know is just what makes you measure if all your efforts that you're doing, also SEO is not happening overnight, it's an invest, that goes also for weeks, has a lot of A/B testing with it. But what I just wanted to show you here, so feel free to take a picture, are just the measurements that we use with our clients that show if all the invests are actually worth it, that makes you measure the SEO, if the SEO is effective, and if it's worth and what needs to be adapted. What I want to highlight is the enormous potential the traffic has behind it for you and what to do with it. So the focus here is this big fat orange mark that you see on the right-hand side of the page, which demonstrates the click value per month we experienced with one client last year. Value per month, which have been over 30,000 clicks. You remember from the one page that I showed from the GI group, the price of £4.77. I don't know if you realized there was a quote from one of our clients, and he stated that one candidate costed him £4.77, which is, I think in translation, €5.60, I would say, in Germany, which is far below the benchmark for a candidate at the moment. So, but also when you realize all the investments you have in rankings on search engines, on job boards, like the more you get to know the candidate, the more you place the right keywords, not only in the job ad, but also then on different channels, and the more you show up on front, it costs time, but no advertising budget, and the more you realize, okay, this is how I reach the more people will show up on your page because you have this perfect fit, and it didn't cost you anything. That's the amazing thing about SEO. Don't say it's for free. You have the Google ads. That's a whole different scenario. But I'm just saying it is worth investing also some time in there because it will bring you all the right candidates. Again, I talked about the quality in the beginning, and now you also understand why they achieved it. Wasn't the only reason why they achieved it, but it's a very good example for reaching candidates at a relatively low budget, and then also, as I said, for £4.77, which is relatively cheap, I would say. I don't know what's the price here in the UK per candidate, but it translates back to Germany as a very cheap one. Do I already provide relevant content? And it's not about text, as I said in the beginning. So, for example, one client of ours is an IT service, and they provide webinars. Nothing to do with job ads, nothing to do with getting any candidates from it. They provide a lot of free webinars about, I'm not a techie, so about IT-related stuff, I would say. But he provides free webinars, which he invites lots of students in. And the students do use this platform to get, to educate themselves because they kind of are interested in this field. So what he gets then is a lot of, like, a platform for not only himself, for the company, but also he kind of builds up a relationship already before even the job application is there, before the job is even written out. So what happens is that he puts out a content piece, nothing related to job ads, builds up this relation, builds up the trust, because the students know, oh yeah, there's this new webinar coming up, I always learn so much, I get better in my studies, I can actually learn from this platform, I really trust this guy, he seems to be knowing what he's doing. So what happens in reserve when he, for example, opens up a position, when he's searching, when the time is coming and he's searching for new employees, he spreads out, he uses this platform, he's always nurturing with new webinars, and then having the right people already show up, which is a really clever way to use content. So you remember I said content, we always think about, it's about job ads, it's about the text I write and how to write it, SEO-related, SEA, etc. But it actually can also be webinars that you hold. It can be a free content piece that you put out there and retain talent at a very, very early stage before even the job ad is out there. So again, take a look at your candidate persona, take a look at the target group. It's of course a very, very specific target group we're talking here. Webinars for students in an IT sector is like very, very narrowed down. But also look at the competitors of the target group, what they are doing, what you can do different, and then the added value that you offer for this target group. As I said, this niche, I think that's why I'm telling this example with the IT webinars. I think it's a quite nice, wise way to be a little bit more different and to add value into the target group. And yeah, he really found his way, what he can do better. So as a marketer, I will tell you again and again, it all starts and it all ends with the right content. Content also means changing solely an image on a job ad to that my candidate persona resonates with, can result in 7 times more applications. And I'm talking about qualified applications. So we again underestimated a study which is from last year amongst all our clients, but also ask in the German market, what did you do differently this time in job ads, and what did you change? Where was the biggest change that you noticed? Changing an image resulted in 7 times more qualified applications because the people really resonated with the ad. The people really could see themselves in the ad. They thought, this is me, this is total me, I can see myself in this working environment. So really just to highlight what impact it can have to solely change an image. And also the simplest thing we all understand is an image. Like we are people, we are humans who really resonate with graphics, who really resonate, build up emotions actually with an image. There are clients who solely use team images, but not with many fancy photo shooting. It's a manufacturer, and he shoots with the mobile phone in factories and shows the team. And shows the team or how they're joking, and this is something that people could really, they know what to expect when they come to it. They already know the team. They know that this is not a high fancy, any photograph that you can find on any online platform, but it is something real that I can resonate with, that I can see myself with, that I really like. I know what to expect, and again, yeah, also really successfully worked out. Also, text is way too long sometimes. Like if you just want to get a really quick look on an ad and you just, you don't want to scroll down and down and down and read about the text and how amazing everything is, an image can work wonders in terms to really make a really good first impressions. Same as a video. We all know, I don't know you guys, behavior, my online behavior became terrible lately. I used to read so much and I used to love blogs. I scrolled down for hours and hours and hours, read magazines, everything. Nothing, I have to admit. I would love it, say, I don't have the time. I would have the time. I'm just spending way too much time on these little reels, like short images, short videos. So same, not only for me, thank God, but for everyone. Like our behavior changed online. How we get information, how we gain information. It's not about like all the reading. It's really we do like the videos. So what we invented last year with a lot of clients as well, with I think. I would say like 70-80% of the clients, they invested in video. They invested in a very short video. I just named the manufacturer example of images. Instead of making the image, he really made a short video. Again, with a handy. It doesn't need to be fancy, with a smartphone, sorry. It doesn't need to be fancy, but really just showing and portraying the real work as it happens. Interviewing people, interviewing your staff. Like, what does it expect? Explain me in 3 words what you really like about this place. Like all these things, we do like to watch videos. Again, you can put a nice tone with it. You build up emotions without even having read a word about this company. So again, something that's also when I'm telling invest into content that your candidate persona really resonates with. This could be something that you might also want to have a look at. So ask yourself, how do people look at your job ad? Is the added value immediately recognizable and responsible? Does it also take a long time to scroll me down to get me to the video? Like if you have a nicely video planned, amazing, but it's really on the bottom of your page? I don't know. I don't know if I would really scroll down all the text and all the clicks and all the CPAs that I get there to get to this video. So really also place it on top. So really put yourself into the perspective of the candidate persona that's looking at the ad. We've been talking about optimizing content. Let's not underestimate the potential of leads you can collect with the right content that fill up your pipeline for further nurturing. Meaning that when people really like your content, but probably the job ad is not the right one, the timing is not the right one, probably was like, probably had a different expectation from this ad. It's not really for me, but I really, really do like these guys. They seem to be a very good employer. So I'm just gonna hit the button and subscribe to their newsletter, and get into the talent pool. So you maintain that contact even when probably the person, him or herself, is leaving the job ad, but you maintain that contact by inviting them into a job newsletter. And you would be surprised. You would say, oh yeah, we get so spammed with all the newsletters already. Like no one will ever be interested in getting a newsletter from me, who's then informing about upcoming events from the company, who's just informing about the company itself, or probably more specifically about jobs that are fitting for this person, for this candidate. You would be surprised, as I said, 20% of your page visitors would subscribe to a job newsletter, which is, again, if you invested before in SEO, you get those 30,000 clicks per month. 30,000, 20% of those 30,000 would subscribe to your job newsletter. It's not that bad. Optimizing your forms can result in 30% more applications. What I mean by forms, one example is offering the opportunity to apply mobile via WhatsApp. So we do, for example, have this WhatsApp button integrated for most of the jobs for our clients. And what happens is, when you think about, again, what's the candidate persona situation like? Probably she is unhappy on the job. When is the situation he's looking for new jobs? Most likely while commuting to work, while to the current work, most likely probably in the lunch break, but you won't be necessarily sitting on the laptop. You will be on your smartphone. You will be scrolling down the ads. You will be, just having a look on the different platforms, and you will be on your phone for over 90% of the time. So applying then online, for example, via WhatsApp, or not only applying, also getting contact with the recruiter probably reduces and lowers the barrier to apply, because it's just, you don't need to get home, you don't have to write a fancy CV or something, you can just get in contact immediately. Doesn't work for all jobs. Again, really depends on what kind of jobs you're searching for, what kind of jobs you have to fill, what kind of candidates you need to find. But for example, for this typical, we call it helper jobs, like this typical fill-in jobs, where the recruiter only needs, for example, the contact details in the first place, it might be very successfully working to not get the full formula, to get the full application, written out letter, or like big CV with a lot of fancy pictures. Might just only needs a contact address like the email and the phone number, and you're good to go to have this very first connection, the very first conversation. Why not? So really also worth thinking about that. What I'm talking about generally, that's why I invested now much time in mobile and WhatsApp, is basically keeping the hurdles low. So if an applicant does not perceive the form as a hurdle, they are more likely to send the application. And also think about the position you have advertised and what you really need. So really cross out what you only need for the sake of a form. I'm from Germany. We love our hierarchy and we love our forms and we love the different kind of boxes you have to click to just make it really, really data policy correctly. You don't need all of that. Like, you probably can reduce it down. It can be very irritating if you have a beautifully job ad and then you click apply, I really want to work for those guys, and then you have this massive form coming out and you're saying, no way, I'm going to fill it out now, like on my commute way to home, so I'm going to do it later. I don't know if he's got she's going to do it later. So like there is this hurdle of, I don't have all the information right now with me, probably need to look up some things. Hurdle is there, probably the application is not being sent through. So really think about what you really need, and then just work with that and go from there. Not unmentioned also are the call to action designs. So could you say, or maybe would you, maybe you can share maybe in the Q&A later, but what is your call to action under every job ad is saying? Is it like apply now? For most of the clients of ours it was, but probably it also could say arrange a callback, get to know us a little bit more, like also play around with those little things, just to show you guys what really makes the difference in a formula, in optimizing forms, because it can also like apply now could probably be, okay, I have to really apply now, but maybe I just have a question and I would love to get these nice guys a little bit more and really place the question. So this could be a good call to action for get to know us, or arrange probably a meeting or something, which is a bit not that fast forward in getting actually like applying, but maybe also have again the hurdle a little bit lower in getting to know us. So when you think about that, several thousand people click on call to action. Nobody has ever asked themselves, like the call to action is always apply now, I never think about it. But this could be a game changer as well. Like this could be this little extra thing that a person might resonate with, that a person might think, okay, I really, I feel comfortable in getting into conversation with these guys, getting in conversation with this company. And also feel free to test call to actions, to be very honest. Like if you do have several job ads online, test different call to action and just see, again, play around with analytics. You know me by now. We've been talking to half an hour. I'm KPI obsessed. So really also think, take a look at the different call to action, take a look about the different ads, and also ask maybe your interviews, when you have an interview, also ask what did you like about it. Be brutally honest, because it ultimately helps you to improve your job ads and the content. So that's me, a lot of talking. Thank you so much for your patience. As I said, you find us at booth E36, where you also can meet the team, where we're happy. Like, this was a really, really brief glance. I could go on for hours. I won't spare you the time now. But yeah, happy to meet you guys afterwards. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.